Welcome to another episode of Latinos Who Thrive. I'm your host, Victor Escalante. This week, we're going to continue with the discussion that we started last week, where Michelle Wigmandy, Jose Monterrosa, and myself discuss how to use the flywheel method for attracting sales and to attract customers. Let's continue with this discussion, and next week, we'll pick it up with another guest interview. Let's get started. And we are back, friends. We have in the studio, joining us remotely, Jose Monterrosa with Imagina Communications. Welcome to today's show, Jose.
Thank you, Victor. Very glad to be here again.
We also have Michelle Wigmandy, our Google and online expert. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you, Victor. It's nice to be back. Thank you again for the invitation.
Great. If you are joining us today for the first time, or if you didn't get a chance to tune in the previous 2 weeks, today we are continuing with a discussion of how to use the flywheel model for sales and marketing. This is a very interesting, I would consider the new norm of how to do business digitally, as well as to understand what is happening in the marketplace, for you to be able to take advantage of every opportunity that is out there. Today, we are discussing the second and third element of the flywheel, which is how to engage and how to, let me pull up the slide, and how to delight customers. Correct. So, Jose, why don't you go ahead and give us the specifics about this stage of the discussion?
Sure. No, thank you again. And yes, it's becoming like the new normal, right? As opposed to the traditional funnel of marketing, the flywheel, the fact that it's putting the customer at the center of the process, and understanding that a wheel represents something that is more dynamic, that is exposed to changes, and given the fact that in today's world, or
I'm going to step away to raise the volume because you're coming in real low. So I'm going to go to the control panel, but continue the discussion.
Sure. So I was speaking about the fact that the funnel has become almost like the old model of looking at marketing, and how the flywheel, because it's putting customers at the center of the process, it's becoming like the new normal, as you were saying, Victor, in the beginning of the show. The new normal also because the wheel represents something that is dynamic, and changes, continuous changes, is something that is happening a lot in marketing for the last 5 or 7 years. So it changes a lot. New technologies, a new way of seeing customers and understanding customers. So that is just a comment that I wanted to make in regards to the new normal that you mentioned in the beginning. But focusing more on the flywheel, in previous shows, or in the previous show, we talked about how to attract customers. Today, just like you said, we're going to talk about how to engage and delight customers, which are the other two stages of the flywheel, of the HubSpot flywheel. One thing that I want to emphasize is that the importance of delighting customers is, the way that I see it, is on that engage stage. If you don't engage customers the right way, delighting them is going to be complicated. So putting a lot of emphasis on how to engage those customers is probably the area that we wanted to focus on in today's show. And then also mention that there are 3 basic components behind the flywheel. One is generating force, the second one, minimizing friction, and the third one, gaining momentum. So as we talked about this, remember those 3: adding force, minimizing friction, gaining momentum. So with that, I'm just going to pass it to Michelle, who is going to talk about content generation.
Right.
Okay. Take it away, Michelle.
All right. Today, our buyers have more power than they've ever had before. They are pretty much in control of your brand. And when they are looking for information and when they want a problem solved, they're searching for the information and they're in control. I found an interesting statistic off of HubSpot that says 94% of consumers have discontinued communications because of irrelevant promotions. There's 74% of people are likely to switch brands if they find the purchasing process too difficult. So that would be considered the friction point.
Right.
Goes back to what we were talking about last week in terms of understanding who our buyer is, where they are in their stage of the buyer journey, and being able to meet them where they are with the right content. So
let's wrap around our mind around that. Okay. So if you don't have the perfect key to unlock a customer's or prospect's interest, you've lost a sale. You've lost a potential new client that you could have converted. You attracted them, but if you didn't engage properly, that customer is going to walk away and they're going to go to your competitor or they're going to keep searching. And again, you've been passed over because of the lack of engagement and the specific way that they want to be engaged with, whether it's answering a question, getting specific details about the product, I don't know, product features or benefits. And if that customer is not communicated with in the way that they want to be communicated with, you can kiss that goodbye.
Oh, absolutely. So it goes back again to understanding the customer and where they are in their journey, and then also making sure that you have goals. So understanding why you are creating that piece of content, what's the purpose of it? We want to make sure that there is a goal behind it. So, for example, webinars are very popular today. And for an example, you might want to say you want to increase the number of people signing up for your webinar. And maybe the goal is to do this by 15% signups over your last webinar. So we need to determine how are we going to achieve that goal? Where do we meet our customer so that we can get the right information to them at the right time in their decision-making process? And that may be an email, it may be a social media post. The content that gets developed, however, means that we need to go back to the very beginning and understand our customer, what their needs are, what the problem they're trying to solve. And so we're giving them the right information at the right time.
I would say that webinars are a good entry point. If you're in the business to business environment, webinars can probably be a good entry point for attracting customers, right? Or potential customers, I would say. And then also, at a given point, you want to make sure that once you have them, obviously how to keep them, right?
Right. And the webinar is just an example. There's many different types of content, and especially in that awareness stage when we're thinking about the customer has identified that they have a problem and now they're looking for a solution. So that may include a white paper that they read, maybe a blog post, maybe they need a checklist, a tip sheet, an infographic, an ebook, but they are searching for information, and we need to make sure that we offer that information in the right format to suit their needs. Some customers may want something that is very short and sweet, like a social media post. Other customers are looking for more information, and that's where the blog post, the long form blog post, or the ebook or the white paper also needs to be available for those for those different needs.
I'm going to ground it down to 3 industries. Politics. Okay. We just
Okay.
completed a election cycle. Just
Right.
as we predicted that John Whitmire had the cleanest messaging on his website because we did an analysis. Remember?
Yes.
He was a winner not only in the webpage design and messaging, but also in the execution, in engaging with the constituents as well as developing a coalition. Okay. The other candidates failed that. They failed in engaging the voter and the stakeholders, the major community leaders. And so, is it any wonder that John Whitmire was the winner?
He had it right. You know, when we analyze his campaign, you can tell that the guy did the homework, or the team that is behind him
Yes.
or was behind him did the right homework. I mean, I remember watching that or checking Sheila Jackson Lee website and watching that video that she had actually on the homepage. And if you, by any chance, got to watch it, and that was like a key component of the homepage, right?
Right.
If you watch that video, you will be scratching your head in regards to what is this about, right?
Yeah.
So many
What the hell?
issues. Yes, and I'm sorry, you know, this is not meant to criticize or offend anybody, but
We're marketers, we're communicators. Okay.
yeah, I mean, it was going in different directions.
Yes.
And talking about multiple things as opposed
Yes.
to concentrating or
Yes.
focusing on maybe one or two key messages.
So Sheila Jackson Lee attraction, thumbs down. Okay.
It was a tough sell.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, when you put it together with
Yeah,
Whitmire,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
If you isolate her,
Yeah.
From anyone else, then I
Right.
guess you can find some very good things.
She was again, guys. I was there at one of the TV debates, and I got to ask the candidates questions, and they were all relatively. They did well on stage, but again, it's behind the scenes of what is happening that is going to determine the engagement, the lighting, and as well as the turnout. Now, let's take another industry, so that we don't get too bogged down in politics. Let's take insurance and real estate. Okay, that's a commodity.
Right?
That's a commodity, and just about everyone that you know nowadays is selling real estate and insurance. Okay, so how can you stand out, and how can you engage in the sea of other competitors?
Well, I think it goes back to the amount of risk in terms of the type of content you need and how elaborate it needs to be. So if there's a lot of risk involved, a high risk of losing a significant amount of money, or if there's danger, potential for loss, that is where you need, I believe, where you need to have more detailed information so people can really make an informed decision between choice A and choice B. How do you stand out? It goes back to understanding your audience. Where are they? Which platforms are they using? Whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or I should say X, I'm sorry, Instagram, but understanding those platforms that they're on, and then also making the content captivating. And that is a very relative term because what is captivating or interesting to one it may not be interesting to all. So we need to understand, again, going back to the audience and understanding what makes them tick, what makes them take action to an offer.
I'm going to add another thing to that. Once you know where the pain points are with your customers, or I guess you need to construct those narratives or that main message and the narratives that go with it, and make sure that you're being consistent over time, right? That you truly believe that this is what is going to hit the home run with these guys. And then you trust yourself to stay on that course over a period of time, Because otherwise, if you start switching messages, let's say that over a year, you switch in 3 different directions, you're going to confuse customers, and they're not going to know what you are really about.
That's absolutely correct. The other thing too that's helpful is to run a content audit. So if you have concerns over what your messaging might be or should be, one thing that I find to be very helpful is to run a content audit. Take a look at what your competitors are saying and how they're saying it, and how are you different, how are you similar, and how can you position yourself in this market so that you differentiate yourself, yet you have the language, you are able to position yourself in such a way that you differentiate yourself, and you're using those trigger words that capture people's attention.
You're listening to Latinos Who Thrive with special guests Jose Monterrosa and Michelle Wickmandy. We'll be right back. Are you ready to unlock your full potential and embark on a journey of limitless knowledge and boundless creativity? Look no further than Wizard Academy, where dreams become reality. At Wizard Academy, they are not just a school, they're a community of visionaries, dreamers, and achievers. Whether you're a student, a working professional, or someone looking to reinvent yourself, Wizard Academy has a place for you. I know because I'm a graduate of the World Changers class of 2007 when I worked in print media. Imagine being guided by industry experts where innovation knows no bounds and where your passions are transformed into skills. Their cutting-edge programs span technology, business, arts, and more. You'll discover the magic within you and you wield it with confidence. At Wizard Academy, they embrace diversity and creativity, and they celebrate your unique journey. So be sure to join them in the heart of innovation, where the extraordinary becomes ordinary. Visit them at www.wizardacademy.org now to explore their lineup of courses, faculty, and the incredible success stories of this community. Your future is waiting. Unleash your inner wizard today. Are you looking to take your career to the next level? Do you want to stand out from the crowd and make a lasting impression? Then look no further. Introducing the ultimate game changer, the Escalante Public Speaking Mastery Course. In today's competitive world, effective communication is the key to success. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, the ability to speak confidently and persuasively is a game changer. I know, because I have lived through it. That's why the Public Speaking Mastery Course is here to unlock your full potential. The comprehensive course is designed to transform your public speaking skills from good to extraordinary. I will be guiding you through a step-by-step process, helping you overcome stage fright, craft compelling messages, and deliver impactful presentations. When I took the Dale Carnegie School of Public Speaking and Human Relations, it changed my life, and I will be able to help you do the same. My career in journalism and training and development was built on having the skills to be able to communicate to a team or thousands. I hold nothing back. I will give you all my trade secrets and how you can thrive and crush it. Imagine walking into a boardroom and captivating your audience with your powerful presence. Picture yourself confidently leading meetings, delivering persuasive pitches, and commanding attention in every interaction. With a Public Speaking Mastery Course, you'll be equipped with the skills to excel in any professional situation. If you're ready to take the step and supercharge your career, enroll in the Public Speaking Mastery Course today. All the information and the cost is in the show notes. Don't let fear hold you back. Unlock your potential, elevate your career, and become a master of public speaking. Go to the show notes to register today to secure your spot in the next session of Public Speaking Mastery Course. Public Speaking Mastery course empowering professionals, transforming careers. Act now and make a lasting impression in every opportunity that comes your way. You will be glad you did, and you will thrive for the rest of your life. We now return you to Latinos Who Thrive with special guests Jose Monterrosa and Michelle Wickmandy.
Give us a specific example. Let's get real granular, down in the weeds.
Okay.
Because I'm an expert at not only creating pain points, but ratcheting pain points when it comes to advertising. So give us a couple of specific examples.
You know, the one example that I keep coming back to is the Blendtec. The Blendtec videos, webinars that were very popular just a few years back. And when people go to buy a blender per se, right, they wanted something that would work, right? And those videos that Blendtec did were very powerful in that those blenders could blend anything, whether it was a cell phone, a golf ball. It really drove the message home that these blenders were powerful and they could get the job done. So that's just one example of.
I remember they put a telephone in one of those blenders.
Absolutely.
And it shredded it. Okay. Now
Jesus.
that would convince me. That would convince me because it brings up memories of having a blender that doesn't crush ice.
You still remember it. So
Yeah,
it did
absolutely.
something good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because again, in messaging and in communication, visuals, once you have that visual, you can undo that visual. And once you engage the emotions and once you engage the memories, that's it. You program the customer for life. Look at Pepsi when they paid $10 million to Michael Jackson for 10 seconds to go on stage. That was that time that they set his hair on fire. But again, 10 seconds to create a new message of the taste of a new generation. Because back then, Michael Jackson was very hot. He was very popular.
Right.
This is before all the controversy. And he was at the top of the ratings charts. And that connection was made that it catapulted Pepsi above Coke for a period of time. Then they came back. Again, that's the battle of the brands in the marketplace.
In today's world, to me, it's about the network, right? The
Yes.
network that had been built by Michael Jackson, by so many fans around the world, and the people that had other networks that were associated with
Yes.
Michael Jackson. That is what Pepsi did, getting to Michael Jackson's network.
Yes.
So yeah, common practice in marketing, right? Trying to associate yourself or to pair yourself with someone else that has obviously, in this case, a very famous individual, and making sure that your brand is associated with him, his brand, and the network that is behind him.
Yes. And so you got the advertising, that's the attraction. And then the engagement with having plenty of product on the shelves, having all kinds of visual displays with Michael Jackson to, again, have a seamless process. I mean, this is plain old common sense that we've been doing all forever, but the methodology has changed.
I was going to say, going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So when we think about those basic needs that people are trying to fulfill, whether it's safety or your basic physiological needs, all the way up to the self-fulfillment. And I think the military touches on the self-fulfillment in their commercials. It used to be all you can be. And they would show people say, the soldiers being in battle and saving other people, saving freedom, say. So
you can sell anything if you got the right messaging, okay? Because there you were talking about committing suicide or killing.
Correct.
Look at cigarettes. Okay. Again, we've known that they were poisonous and dangerous, but again, a society became addicted to them because of the messaging and the association to smoking. But let's keep going. Michelle, do you have any other points as far as effective content and the right strategy?
No, I think first and foremost, make sure you know who you are talking about or talking to. Talking to. So those personas become very important. Just knowing who the person is, where they are in their buyer journey, what are they looking for, what are their pain points, the information that you can get for your persona. So you'll need to do some research there, but then knowing why, having the why are we producing this content? What is the goal? What are we trying to achieve? And then in terms of what content we are going to produce or how we are going to do our messaging, what I find to be very helpful is to do a content audit. Look at what is already out there and see how I can fit into the space, but still differentiate myself.
I want to ask you guys a personal opinion.
Personal. Okay.
Yeah, this is personal.
Okay.
Do you guys think that you need to personally have someone outside yourself look at your own content because you are too close to see the errors or the deficits that we're talking about? I know in my case, I do.
You have to.
You have to. Absolutely. You're too close to it.
Something that is obvious to another person, we can't see it. We have blind spots. That's why even ad agencies have ad agencies that do some of the work for them, or they consult with them to look at some of their inconsistencies or how they could improve on some of their branding and messaging.
And I will probably add that there's some fatigue involved here. You know, if you keep seeing the same thing,
yes,
talking about the same issues, pain points, benefits, whatever, you are so framed to that at some point, I mean, we're all humans, right? We get tired.
You condition the people and you turn them off because who wants to feel nothing but pain associated to your brain, to your brain?
Yeah, but the fact that you keep seeing the same thing, you at some point become like, you know what? I'm not seeing the errors here anymore.
Yes,
because this looks normal to me.
Correct.
Yeah. So in that sense, extremely important to have someone outside the circle check the board.
Okay, let's keep going.
All right.
What are the channels for engagement? A brand should focus on.
Yes. So Michelle talked about the things about that you need to do to generate good content, right? Extremely important to make sure that you have the right message and that you're engaging audiences the right way. Now, there are other more mechanical things that need to happen in terms of the channels that you're using to reach out to those individuals. And let me just focus on 3 different areas. And I know that we're kind of running out of time here, but in regards to web, you're making sure that you have the right navigation, that you are minimizing the pain points in your website that is blocking individuals to find the information that they are looking for. So don't make it more complicated than what it is. And just to give you an example, I've seen some websites that have like 20 items on the top menu area to the point that you don't know where to click or where to find the information that you're looking for. So
and Google is penalizing you because your webpage is too cluttered with so much content and so much SEO that they're now giving preference to landing pages that are clean, clean and simple for one term that the consumer is searching for.
Yeah, and when you talk to clients, I mean, they all want to put everything on the top menu, right?
Yeah.
But Jose, let me interrupt you just for a minute. But that's the beauty of a landing page. When you have something to promote, you have a pay-per-click ad and you click it and it goes to that one landing page. And that is the landing page has one purpose.
Yeah,
There's-
and the landing page being that individual page
Yes.
that is associated with a specific campaign
Yes.
that you are pretty much promoting on Google. So
As I
yeah, that's
mentioned previously on another show, I know of one law firm with over 200 landing pages. Okay.
Jesus.
Wrap
Wow.
your mind around that. Over 200 landing pages, because again, they're always on the cutting edge of what is working. They were late adopters when it came to digital marketing because they were accustomed to spending millions of dollars in legacy media. And because again, digital marketing is long tail is longer, the response rate is going to be longer, but it's more sustainable over time. Once you get that flywheel spinning, you can't stop it unless you have lots of friction in the process.
And 200 pages, you need a department for that, I think.
They do. They have an entire team. Okay.
Yeah,
One
you
time-
need a chief of landing pages
Yes.
just to manage that. Definitely.
I used to be a brand manager for the firm. And so I led a team just for managing the brand. Okay.
Wow.
So that's how big they are. And that's how big they are on a lot of things. I actually was in charge of removing all the friction and all the haters that, again, we had failed. We had failed because we didn't understand how the market was shifting and how, with as simple as a phone in hand, you could burn a brand.
Yeah. And that was my next point here. Responsive design.
Yes.
Making sure that your website is friendly to mobile devices. Many times you will create these beautiful landing pages or homepage or sub pages, and it looks great on a desktop or a laptop computer. But when you put it on the phone, it fails completely. And
Yes.
and you're probably getting a lot of traffic through cell phone devices. So
Yes.
making sure that is set up the right way. The loading time of pages. You know, if you have photographs that look beautiful, right? Crispy, but it's a 3 megabyte kind of file size for each photo, and you have 7 of them on the homepage, you're killing that homepage.
Yeah.
So that's a big no. And then obviously adding call to actions, having interactive elements associated or implemented on the homepage or any other pages, that just makes that website more engaging. I know that we're getting close to the end of the show. Victor, do you want me to show?
Let's go ahead and go into how do you measure engagement to know if it's working or not?
Okay,
Because
so this
again, I see a lot of brands making lots of noise, cranking out content like there was no tomorrow. How do you know if your engagement is working?
So that goes back to that saying that says what gets measured gets improvement.
Yes.
So the only way that you're going to know what is working is to identify or define your key performance indicators. So maybe have five key performance indicators or 7 key performance indicators, whatever makes sense for your business. And maybe if you're thinking about a webinar and getting registrations to that registration page, maybe the KPIs would be focused around visitors to the landing page and signups, and maybe it has something to do with where visitors are coming from. But we need to have some goals, and we need to have some key performance indicators, and we need to be able to measure those, because again, what gets measured is going to get improved. If we don't measure it, we're not.
You guys are getting real technical, so let me explain to the listeners what we're talking about here. So when I managed this particular law firm's webpage, also, I would look at those things, and I would look at Google Analytics, and I would look at how did people land on our page. What were the keywords and phrases they were searching for? Because guess what? Based upon that, I was writing articles and content and graphics that were specifically addressing those hash marks or those words or those phrases to be able to have a conversation online.
And I will add to what you're saying, Victor, the fact that, measuring performance is that needle that is going to indicate you how to minimize friction. One thing is, okay, where is the content going, right? How can I make sure that I'm providing that content that is relevant to those individuals? But on the same token, you're actually being able to determine what are those things that are causing problems on your social media, on your website, on your email, whatever tool you're using. So to me, measuring important to determine friction points and making sure that the momentum continues, right? And
That
the
reminds
engagement
me,
continues.
I was working at another law firm and I would monitor all of the social media, and we would have haters in the waiting room, okay?
In the waiting room.
Complaining that it was taking too long.
Oh my God.
As soon as I got the complaint and I got the name, I would pull a legal assistant and say, hey, I need for you to, as soon as you finish with this client, I need for you to call in this client, and I want you to take care of them, and I want you to tell them that thank you for making us aware that we can always improve on the service. Again, friction.
Perfect.
We were creating friction, and we took the time to address the friction so that, again, we look like superstars compared to the competition, because we were on top of that. That's what we're talking about. It's like big brands have teams of people that are ready to engage and remove any friction in the consumer.
That's awesome. Great example, by the way.
Right. And then I just want to add one more thing. Social media, content development, developing engagement isn't limited just to B2C. B2B companies are doing a great job of this as well. And one of them that comes to mind is Maersk, the shipping company. And you might think, what would a shipping company have to say or share? And how can they generate so much engagement? They do an incredible job. They're on TikTok, they're on Facebook, Instagram, and just across the web. But they do a great job with highlighting their employees. They talk about how they're able to ship, some significant number of wine bottles and be able to ship them, and there's no breakage. So whether you're doing refrigerator motors, you're shipping containers, you're a B2B, I think that you can make your content very engaging and interesting. It's not limited to B2C only.
I want to echo what you just said. What I see with a lot of brands is their content is very stale. It is very AI generated without any editing to make it very organic and engaging that people can relate to. Because again, at the end of the day, we're people needing to interact with people and having our needs met. Well, guys, we're going to have to leave it there. Jose, give us a preview of what we can expect next week.
Next week, we will be talking about trends for 2024, marketing trends for 2024. I think it's going to be very interesting. If you are into AI or want to know where AI is going next year, I think that you want to join us next week on the show.
Absolutely. We might even give you some of our secret sauce that we've been playing with.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Totally depend on AI because we're early adopters of this technology.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Go out and crush it.